Everyone's going crazy, so the media thinks that they need to share some people's psychoses, Mark thought. He shut down his browser and opened the MMORPG he'd been playing for a while now. It was more in-depth than a lot of them, offering more than just combat. The crafting options were insane, and there were all kinds of things to do in the game that didn't involve fighting. He was logging in for a fight, though. His guild was about to try one of the newer bosses that had been recently discovered, and they wanted him there with his high-level mage for the attempt. Logging in and joining the group, they proceeded to teleport to somewhere close to the new boss, then move in and start the fight. Things were going just fine at first. Then Mark's vision blacked out, or more accurately, blued out. At first, he thought his computer had crashed, but then he realized it wasn't just the monitor, but his entire field of vision covered in blue. The white text on the blue background had fooled him at first, and he just ignored the text thinking it was a standard BSOD. Now, he started reading the words, wincing as he noticed the horrible offenses against the grammar and syntax of the English language. System message. We thank inhabitants of Sol 3 for participation in our extended alternate natural laws beta test. For the past 6,237.3 Sol 3 years, you developed under alternate natural laws, showing that even with harsher conditions, humanity still develops planet-destroying weapons, given enough time. We have removed weapon after it was successfully constructed, and you now return normal natural laws. In 3 days, Sol 3 time, the alternate natural law beta test will terminate, and original natural law conditions will return in conjunction with the system. Mark blinked several times. It's almost as bad as reading those overseas instructions that are allegedly written in English, but that only have English words, not grammar or syntax, he thought. About then he realized that the message screen was still covering his entire vision. He tried to wave it away, with no luck, then found himself wishing that it would go away. The screen flickered and finally disappeared when he mentally clicked on a small icon in the upper right corner. His cleared vision revealed that the party had crashed and burned, wiping to the boss. I guess it wasn't just me then, Mark thought. I'd worry more about that, but I've never done any hallucinogens, so it shouldn't be a flashback. I haven't been out of the house yet today, so no one drugged me, and my computer isn't nearly powerful enough for someone to be messing with me that way. Hell, most of the people I know are in the guild and wouldn't have timed it so we'd wipe. So what's that leave? Across the world, everyone had been affected by the screen. For many, it was more of a nuisance than anything else. Word eventually spreading on how to get it to go away. For others, it was a breaking point. Unable to move the screen or do anything about it, they snapped. For a large subset, it was fatal. For drivers and passengers in vehicles at high speed, airline pilots and passengers, and many others, the screen was the last thing they saw. Mark was disgusted with himself and started cursing out loud. Damn it, I should have left the screen up. Maybe it would have taken input somehow. It took mental input to clear it away, so if I'd left the screen open, I might have... He stopped dead. When he'd said the words, screen open, a smaller blue box had opened up in the upper right side of his vision, with a cursor blinking in the upper left corner of the box. He quickly tried thinking at it, but nothing happened. Well, it was a verbal command that opened it, so maybe verbal input? Test, he said. The word appeared in the box, and when he hadn't spoken for a second, the cursor dropped a line, paused for a millisecond, and then the second line of the box showed the word error. The cursor dropped to the next line. Mark took a deep breath, then spoke slowly and plainly. Help, he said. The word appeared in the box, and a moment later the cursor dropped a line. Then text appeared beneath it, the cursor plummeting down the screen, leaving a series of lines containing single words or phrases. Mark had caught the first line before the screen started scrolling. It had read, Help is available on the following. The last two entries caught his eye. They were waiting period and verbal. Help verbal, Mark said, wincing again when he saw the mangled grammar of the help file. Verbal. The system may interact with directly in 3 ways. Mentally, verbally, or in a hybrid fashion. You current settings, hybrid. You can set system to verbal, mental, or hybrid. Mark wasn't too worried about it at the moment. There was no